We good?
All right, thanks, Dan. Okay, welcome back to a regular board meeting session again. And the last couple items on our agenda tonight are topics for the next meeting. Does anybody want to throw anything out there for the main meeting that we want to talk about?
I have one
Okay.
that came up. I received a letter this is from the city of Sheridan and city of Willamina. It is about what they're calling an enterprise zone. I don't know too much about it. And Laura Conroy is involved with helping with this. So I have asked Abisha to come and do a presentation at the next meeting about the enterprise zone and what that means for Sheridan School District. I can make a copy of the letter and put it in the Friday report so that you can see that. But there is a meeting on May 7th at 2 p.m. at the West Valley Fire Station where they're going to be discussing this. It has to do with local taxing districts. I don't know what an enterprise zone is, but
It's where you want to bring industry into your city, but then they give you a break on taxes and whatever it is, or how they get the infrastructure to their buildings or whatever it is as
Okay.
well.
Yeah,
Other than that-
taxes, it looks like for a couple of years.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna go to the meeting, but I will give you a copy of the letter, I'll put it in the Friday report,
Excellent.
but that'll be a topic. I don't know if there's anything from this that would be a discussion item, but Abisha will be presenting.
Okay. Any other topics for the next meeting? That'll be May, so we'll be past election season. Well, we'll chew on by then. All right. Okay.
Maybe the status of the Barbara Roberts building, what's going on?
Mhm.
Yeah, might be a good update, yeah.
Yeah, so our next meeting will be the day after election.
Ooh,
I was kind of hoping that maybe some of our candidates would show up to like a meeting just to see, but
yeah,
I was hopeful too.
maybe the next one. Maybe, yeah, well, by the next
I
one, we'll know who
would.
it is, so,
that's 5 votes right here.
right?
You mean the next board?
6
meeting,
votes.
The
or-
next board meeting is the 21st, election day is the 20th.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we may have some results.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Board comments. Should we go around in a circle? Got anything, Mike? No? All right.
The only thing I got to bring up, and I talked to Dory about this, is that we need to do something about Barbara Roberts, other than just sitting on our laurels. Either we're gonna have to start the threads, the programs, and in the different sites, like somewhere else except that building, to make sure that we have it established if it gets back into the legislature. Because we all know that they didn't give you the money for this building. And they want, the way I got it, if I read this right, in that meeting, I heard it right, is they want more input from other schools into this school than just what Sheridan's being done to do too. They want more of that responsibility given to them as well. So we're gonna have to either step it up, get some classes going to show the state, yeah, they're serious about this.
Mhm.
Could
And-
we use the old gym, the high school, for the, put the trainers in there? And
It
do
kinda
the class in there?
It kind of depends on what pathway. I mean, I've already talked to Mr. Schrader about, there's a couple different approaches. We could start with a soft start with elective classes with our own students. We could do a year of planning and go regional with half-day programs off-site. So whether it be, and Larry had suggestions of a couple different locations, but it would have to be suitable for students for a half-day program for the offsite. So you're talking about your emergency planning. I mean, you just have to think all about student safety, but it would take us a year to plan that. We could start with just our students.
Well, I think that'd be the smart idea to do that, to start with us.
I would love to see us have a meeting that's maybe, not necessarily the advisory committee to it, but like maybe me and Larry and you and and Pat and anyone that so we can sit down and brainstorm. Cause like we've talked about getting this going, but we're looking at the huge picture in advisory, right? So how do we look at the small picture? Like Larry said, getting it started on the small level, and maybe we go knock on some doors and find out what rent is at the different places, and how can we utilize our own shop potentially? Because, it's sitting there barely used.
Really, that's what my thought was too.
But we can talk to the shop teacher. All these things, like who can we pull into the room to say, what can we do to make this happen? Maybe have the chief at that, talk about the fire program.
The two spreads that you start with, so it was a fire sign. We know that's popular because we have.
We know there's a
before.
demand for it,
And I think the
yes.
truck driving.
Because we have the simulators.
Yeah, just.
We also have a bunch of tools and stuff to do easily a diesel program or something, even just an intro to diesel program to start in our school.
Yeah.
The other part that, along the same line that Amisha and I talked about was, I don't feel like we have a solid mission, vision for Robert C. Tech as a regional career center.
Right.
And I need that little booklet. This is what we're about, this is what we value, here's the pathways, like if I'm gonna hand a state legislature something, here's what we are about.
But did you see the one that the one from their school?
Yeah,
Because that one's like phenomenal, that I'm like,
there's some out there, and that's the direction we're heading, but we also need representatives to help us from all the regional districts.
Well, and we need kids to tell our story,
Yes.
which means we've got to get them in our program so they can tell a story, because they're going to have way better impact at the state level than we're ever going to have.
Mhm.
I think we start to go, just go straight to the students. Get it up, get the bugs run out of it, then you start inviting, Willamina, Perrydale, start inviting people in, and once we got it up running, and we know it's gonna work.
But part of our biggest hurdle is going to be staffing those different
What is,
things.
the buildings, it's dead, it's stopped right now. Is Hampton gonna come back and say they want $1 million back?
No,
Oh, okay.
oh no, they're still very, very supportive.
Okay.
In fact, I've been in contact with Kristen often about, and I send her more and more information. Oh no, they want us to keep going.
But you just have to build this fire.
Yeah, so can we have a brainstorming?
Yeah.
And I guess others would be obviously welcome to join too, but
Like a future work session, and
If
Maybe they're rotating.
if it's more than 2 board members, we need to have it as a work session.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's have it part of the next work session, we're talking about inviting the new board members, they'll be involved, they're gonna be involved.
I don't think we're gonna have time.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think you're gonna eat up most of the time. And I hate to go super late.
Go till midnight?
No thanks.
Let me look at the calendar and get that scheduled, and I'll make a list of names of really who needs to attend. But yes, we need to light a fire under this project, and we need to get some value statements.
But we would want Sean there because, because you talked about him potentially teaching the truck driving. And then is he on that path? Is he getting his CTE background stuff done? Because that's a process, a
Right.
big process. So now would be the
Yes.
time to work towards that to get him ready for next year
Right.
or whenever it
And the same
happens.
thing for who's going to teach fire science.
Yes. So if our chief is going to teach it, that's awesome. And he's well qualified, but he also needs to get his CTE stuff done too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all doable. It's all very
And
doable.
think of the curriculum and what the state has and what other areas have done, and pulling that curriculum, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
We don't have
components.
anyone to teach diesel mechanics, do we?
No. Not that I know of.
Your husband.
Yeah, right. Good luck. You talk to him.
But that's a good idea. So we'll keep working on that.
But if there's balls that we need to get rolling, we should get those going so that we're lining up for the right things.
Or the other teachers had with agricultural and the.
And we have ag teachers
If we-
that are
if we
ready to
can-
go.
If we can get one of those going,
Absolutely. That's why they should be part of the table discussion.
Figure out 2 of the easiest ones to get up and get going, and then
Yeah.
the next, you get
In
those 2
fact, that's
going.
probably our easiest one to get going because we already have the teachers for it.
Yeah. And get those 2 going, and then the next year add the 3rd one, and the next year add the 4th one.
Yep.
We could be finding space for them.
Did you ever get a hold of, what's her name, Abishai?
Amisha? Uh-huh.
On that Howard Miller guy?
She has had contact with him. He has not made a decision yet. There's a gentleman that, has an ag background and, wetland nursery entrepreneur, and he is, I believe, considering a naming opportunity for Roberts.
If you need anyone to talk to him, I'd love to talk to him.
Okay.
I have a nursery and agriculture background as
Yeah,
well.
I know. We had one meeting with him and I didn't scare him off.
I won't scare him off.
Okay.
I do have a board comment though, outside
Okay,
of
yeah,
that.
if we're done, you're done with that one, then, yeah.
Yeah. We need to put feelers out for our next student reps on the board. I know it's been brought up in previous times, but like, we should be doing that now so we get those people ready. Because our two are graduating.
Yeah, and maybe think about how to get them more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that too, because I know it's kind of hit or miss sometimes, but, you know, we go to exec session and then our student leaves, and like, well, we didn't really
Get to ask
call
much,
you or-
yeah.
Or do anything, so it's, I don't know what the answer
I
is.
think we can work on how we craft our administrative reports to give them a voice.
Mhm.
Yeah, after
And
each
have
section
more
of that,
questions
you know,
and
like,
make them part
the
of.
principal talks, I said, do you have anything to add, you know, or?
And we
is
can
that-
coach them on
something
that.
like
We'd
that,
like
yeah.
you to share with the board these things, or
Yeah.
they can help.
Well, and if we get them in place, then they could go to a conference with us too. And there's been classes that help teach kids what to do and what questions to ask, what value they bring to the board.
Okay, you know, they're just bringing those for a day.
Yeah, no, at the conference, they had students there. Yeah, many of them.
Yeah.
They sat on panels and talked. They were great.
Okay, anything else, Samantha?
No.
30?
No.
All right, the other thing I have is I'm gonna be out next meeting, so Mike's gonna be in charge.
All right,
So I don't have.
early release.
Do we record these?
Mhm.
I'll get it recorded.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
And then somewhere in there we'll have graduation
Yes.
times and instructions and everything worked out, so we know what to do.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, anything else? With the order? Otherwise, declare us adjourned.
Okay.